Good day. Okay, let us continue our discussion. This is from 9-5 geometric series, and we stopped last time from problem number 1, guide 1, letter A and B. So this time we will discuss problem number 2. This is about using the geometric series formula. Okay, first let me read for you the word problem. So here we have the soldier's reasonable request. So a famous story involves a soldier who rescues his king in battle. The king grants him any price within reason. From the riches of the kingdom, the soldier asks for chessboard with a single kernel of wheat on the first square, 2 kernels of wheat on the second square, then 4, then 8, and so on. For all 64 squares of the chessboard, the king decides that the request is reasonable. So we will see problem 2 for the outcome. Let me move the page. Okay, here. Again, problem number 2, using the geometric series formula. According to the story on the preceding page, how many total kernels of wheat did the soldier request? We know the amount of wheat in the first 4 squares. What we need, the total amount of wheat. What is our plan? Our plan is to use the sum formula to find the total amount of wheat. Okay, step 1. Our step 1 is we will identify the first term, common ratio, and the number of terms. So based on the word problem that we read, what is our A sub 1? A sub 1 or the first term is equal to 1. What is our common ratio? Our common ratio is 2. N is, or the number of term is 64. Or the n term is 64. Okay, next. Step 2, use the sum formula. S sub n equals A sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n all over 1 minus r. Then plug in all those given. S sub 64 equals 1 times 1 minus 2 raised to 64 all over 1 minus 2. Then simplify. So we have 2 raised to 64 minus 1, and this is approximately 1.845 thousand times 10 raised to 19. So there will be approximately 1.845 or 1 and 845 thousandths times 10 raised to 19 kernels of wheat. So again, what steps did we use? From step 1, we use the given A sub 1 or the first term, R the common ratio, N is 64. And from step 2, we use the sum formula. Okay, let's answer got it number 2. From got it number 2, this is the question. To save money for a vacation, you set aside $100. For each month thereafter, you plan to set aside 10% more than the previous month. How much money will you save in 12 months? Okay, so we have the first number, 100. And what is our second number? Since we need to add more 10%, 10% of 100 is what? 10% of 100, we will add it, so it will be 110. Okay, so next, what is our A sub 1? A sub 1 is 100. Our R is, what is 110 over 100? Second term over the first term. That is 1.1. So we will use 1.1 as our common ratio. Okay, and n is 12 for 12 months. Those are the given. Next, with the use of the sum formula, S sub n is equal to A sub 1, which is the first term, times 1 minus r, which is the common ratio, raised to n all over 1 minus r. Then simplify or plug in those numbers. S sub 12, or the sum of 12 terms, is equal to, what is A sub 1? A sub 1 is 100 times 1 minus r, which is 1.1, raised to n. Our n is 12. Then simplify. Okay. Then we have 1 minus 1.1. Okay, next. To simplify this number, S sub 12 is equal to what number? So we have 2,138.43. The sum of 12 terms is 2,138.43. That's the answer. We got it, number 2. Okay. So if you want to do it manually, you can do 1.1 raised to 12, subtract it from 1, multiply it by 100 all over, or divide it by the difference of 1 minus 1.1. It will give you 2,138.43. That is for problem 2, got it, number 2. Okay, next we have for problem number 3. Okay, here. The rest of the story. A bushel of wheat contains about 1 million kernels. The total U.S. output of wheat in a recent year was just over 2.1 billion. How many years of production at that level would it take to the United States to produce enough wheat to satisfy the soldiers' reasonable quest? Okay, so the terms of geometric series grow rapidly when the common ratio is greater than 1. Likewise, they diminish rapidly when the common ratio is between 0 and 1. So in fact, they diminish so rapidly that an infinite geometric series has a finite sum. Okay, next, key concept. So an infinite geometric series with first term a sub 1 and the common ratio, the absolute value of r is less than 1. So remember, if the common ratio has less than 1, it is a finite sum. We will use the formula S equals a sub 1 over 1 minus r. And an infinite geometric series with absolute value of r greater than or equal to 1 does not have a finite sum. Okay, remember, if the common ratio of the absolute value of common ratio is less than 1, that is finite sum. And if it's not, that is, if common ratio or the absolute value of common ratio is greater than or equal to 1, it doesn't have a finite sum. Okay, let's move to the next page. Next, to say that an infinite series a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3 and so on has a sum means that the sequence of partial sums s sub 1 equals a sub 1, s sub 2 equals a sub 1 plus a sub 2, s sub 3 is equal to a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3 and so on. So we have s sub n equals a sub 1 plus a sub 2 and so on to a sub n. So it converges to a number s as n gets very large. So remember, if the absolute value of the common ratio is less than 1, so it means it converges. Again, the absolute value of r is less than 1, it is converges. Okay, next. When an infinite series does not converge to a sum, the series diverges, and an infinite geometric series with the absolute value of r is greater than or equal to 1 diverges. So if we have r, the absolute value of common ratio greater than or equal to 1, it diverges. Okay, let's start problem number 3. Analyzing infinite geometric series. The question is, does the series converge or diverge? If it converges, what is the sum? Okay, first thing. When does an infinite geometric series converge? An infinite geometric series converges when the absolute value of the common ratio is less than 1. Less than 1. It converges if the common ratio or the absolute value of the common ratio is less than 1. So from letter A, let's see. 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 and so on. Okay, again, the question, does the series converge or diverge? If it converges, what is the sum? Okay, now, how to get the common ratio of second term over the first term? So 1 over 2 divided by 1. 1 over 2 divided by 1. So 1 over 2 divided by 1 is equal to 1 half. Since absolute value of r is equal to absolute value of 1 half, and that is 1 over 2. And 1 over 2 is less than 1. So it means the series converges. If it converges, we need to find the sum. So we will use the formula S equals A sub 1 equals 1 minus R, wherein A sub 1 is the first term and R is our common ratio. From the given, what is our A sub 1? Our A sub 1 is 1. What is our R? Our R is our common ratio, which is 1 half. So 1 all over 1 minus 1 half is equal to 1 over 1 over 2 or equals to 2. Next, letter B. Letter B, we have the question, summation of 2 over 3 times negative 5 over 4 raised to n from n equals 0 to infinity. Okay, here, our first term is 2 over 3 and our r, or the common ratio, is negative 5 over 4. Negative 5 over 4, absolute value of it is 5 over 4. And 5 over 4 is greater than 1. So if that is greater than 1, the series diverges. So we don't need to find the sum. Okay, let's answer Gallic number 3, letter A. Does the infinite series converge or diverge? If it converges, what is the sum? So let's solve first letter A. From letter A, we have 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4 plus 9 over 8 and so on. Okay, then first step, we will find the common ratio. So R is equal to 3 over 4, the second term, all over the first term, which is 1 half. So what is 3 over 4 over 1 half? Okay, so it will give us 3 over 2. Okay, 3 over 2. Or you can do it manually, 3 over 4 times the reciprocal 2 over 1. 3 times 2 is 6. And 4 times 1 is 4. Simplify, divide both sides by 2 is 3 over 2. Okay, next. Since 3 over 2 is greater than 1, or the absolute value of 3 over 2 is greater than 1, so it means that this series is diverged. 3 over 2 is greater than 1, so it means the series diverges. If it diverges, we don't need to find the sum. This is for letter A. Okay, next, letter B. From letter B, we have 1 over 3 minus 1 over 9 plus 1 over 24 or 1 over 27 minus 1 over 81 and so on. Okay, so our common ratio, the second number which is negative 1 over 9 all over the first term which is 1 over 3. So we have the answer. If you will simplify this, will be 1 over 3. So let's do this 1 over 9. Negative 1 over 9 times the reciprocal 3 over 1. And the 1 times 3 is 3 and 9 times 1 is 9. Simplified will be negative 1 over 3. Okay, so we have negative 1 over 3 as our common ratio. So the absolute value of negative 1 over 3 is 1 over 3. And this is less than 1. So if this is less than 1, the series converges. The series converges. Okay, if the series is converges, we will proceed to the formula for finding the sum. So S is equal to A sub 1 all over 1 minus R. What is our first term? Our first term from the given is 1 over 3 all over, what is our ratio, common ratio is negative 1 over 3. Okay, then simplify. 1 over 3 all over, what is 1 plus 1 over 3? Or 1 plus 1 over 3. Since we have two signs together, we need to simplify. Negative times negative is positive. So it will be 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3. Now we have 1 plus 1 over 3. 1 over 3 all over, what is 1 plus 1 over 3? Okay, gives us 4 over 3. 1 means 3 over 3. And we can make it 3 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is equal to 4 over 3. Okay, next. 1 over 3, proceed to multiplication and get the reciprocal of 4 over 3. And that is 3 over 4. Now 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Divide both by numerator and denominator by what? By 3 to simplify. 3 divided by 3 is 1 and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So it means our sum is equal to 1 over 4. We have letter C. From letter C, we have the summation of 2 over 2 raised to n from n equals 1 to infinity. So here we have 2 over 3 as our common ratio. 2 over 3, the absolute value of 2 over 3 is less than 1. And this is, it converges. So if it converges, we need to find the sum. So S is equal to A sum 1 is all over 1 minus R. A sum 1 is our 2 over 3. all over 1 minus the common ratio, which is 2 over 3. So it will give you the answer 2. So if you want to do it manually, do first 1 minus 2 over 3. Then 2 over 3 divided by the answer from the difference of 1 minus 2 over 3 is equal to 2. Okay, that is for guided letter A, B, and C. Okay, let's have another example. Let's try to answer number 17. We have 1 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 16. So we need to find the sum if if the series is converges. Okay. First, we need to know if this is converges or diverges. So again, R equals the second number, which is 1 over 4, divided by the first number or the first term. So 1 over 4 divided by 1 is 1 over 4. So our common ratio is 1 over 4. And the absolute value of 1 over 4 is equal to 1 over 4. And 1 over 4 is less than 1. So it means the series converges. The series converges. If the series converges, we need to find the sum. So S equals 1 over 1 minus R, which 1 is our first term, A sub 1. A sub 1 is 1 all over 1 minus 1 over 4 is equal to 4 over 3. So it means S equals to 4 over 3. The sum is 4 over 3. If you want to do it manually, subtract first 1 minus 1 over 4 and divide it from 1. Or 1 divided by the answer from 1 minus 1 over 4. Okay, that is for problem number 1, 2, and 3. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a great day to you.